Welcome back, Truth Seeker. July 18th, 2019. All of cable news right now wants the world to know that the U.S. destroyed an Iranian drone. Here's the front page of CNN. Here's the front page of Fox News. Here's the front page of MSNBC. If it's cable news, they want you to know about this story. And of course, if it's a mainstream headline story, it is definitely contrived. Last month, June 20th, Iran reportedly downed a U.S. drone. So now here's the retaliation. And you might recall, if you saw my work on June 20th, the number that was encoded all over that story was 187. Now here we are on 18/7, July 18th. Look at this. From the last U.S.-Iran drone story, June 20th, to today is a span of 29 days. And what does drone equal? Of course, it equals 29. This language of letters and numbers, which comes from Kabbalah. The language of how the Cabal operates. Every single day, our news is contrived this way. So 2 drone stories, 29 days apart. 29 in numerology is 11, the master number. 2 plus 9 is 11. Now, on June 20th, the story was that an RQ-4 Global Hawk drone was shot down by Iran. Notice it equals 187. That was on the summer solstice, 187. Now, here we are on July 18th, the date written 18/7, like 187 in the majority of the world, and we get this story. Notice how the media emphasizes destroyed. CNN and MSNBC both did this. Destroyed sums to 47. That number that has everything to do with government. Destroyed 47, Trump 47, President 47, White House 47, government 47, DC 47. You can add on to that list too. Authorities 47, Republicans 47, Democrats 47, and more. Donald Trump in the 47-story Midtown Hilton Hotel the night of the rigged election. Don't forget there's 47 degrees on the Masonic compass. Don't forget that Washington, D.C. is the Masonic headquarters. Don't forget that Freemasonry, which controls government and media worldwide, operates by this code every single day, as written about by Albert Pike, Manly P. Hall, and others. With regards to today being July 18th, 18/7, like 187, don't forget that Washington, D.C. equals 187. Same with George Washington. George W. Bush was born on the 187th day of the year. The Masonic headquarters in D.C. is the ancient accepted Scottish Rite of Freemasonry. 187, that's what's etched on the building. Don't forget that 3 years ago on this day, Donald Trump's GOP convention began, July 18th. And as I pointed out before it even began, that was a span of 187 days from Inauguration Day. So that could be a big sign right there. He could be the next president. He keeps getting the numerical rituals that connected D.C. and the presidency. That was going on from 2015 up to the time of his convention. Sure enough, he was inaugurated at a span of 187 days from his 18/7 GOP convention. Today's also the date with 44 and 64 numerology, the numbers that connect to killing and destruction. Military's 44. Here's the story. President Donald Trump says a U.S. ship destroyed an Iranian drone on Thursday. He said the drone came within 1,000 yards of the USS Boxer and ignored multiple calls to stand down. Again, they love to do all this stuff out at sea where nobody can verify it. Speaking at the White House, Trump said the drone was threatening the safety of the ship and the ship's crew in the Strait of Hormuz and was immediately destroyed. The drone was destroyed using electronic jamming, according to a U.S. defense official. Could they use the word destroyed anymore? The crew of the Boxer took defensive action after the drone came within a threatening distance of the U.S. ship, the official said. This is the latest of many provocative and hostile actions by Iran against vessels operating in international waters, Trump added. We're going to go back and look at some of those other hostile acts and see how contrived they were. The United States reserves the right to defend our personnel, our facilities, and interest, and calls upon all nations to condemn Iran's attempts to disrupt freedom of navigation and globe commerce. Think about how the U.S., disrupts the entire world with its military and with its invasions, and always telling other people what to do. He called on other countries to condemn Iran's action and protect their own vessels. So the name USS Boxer, notice the 123, like conspiracy. Notice the 93 and 48, like propaganda. Notice the 33, like act of war, like war games, like federal, like masonry, like secrecy, like order. Don't forget the nation's capital is named after a 33rd degree Scottish Rite Freemason war general. It's just so contrived. It's so obvious. Should have went back and revisited the last drone attack. How perfectly it's synced up with July 18th. This was low-hanging fruit. Anyway, to go back to the July 18th story, we talked about how that was synced up with Tisha B'Av and how Tisha B'Av is connected to the world wars in history. Came 53 days before Tisha B'Av. Tisha B'Av's 53. Again, that was the drone attack on June 20th. We talked about how the date that, so this is the thing about Tisha B'Av in World War I. On August 1st, 1914, Tisha B'Av occurred. And shortly after that day, it was marked as the official start of World War I. Two major powers declaring war against each other. That date, August 1st, 1914, was a date with 42 numerology. War equals 42, like Iran, like World War, of course, like Freemason. Notice also up here that it was 1 month and 23 days. The conspiracy number, like we just talked about, USS Boxer, it was also 7 weeks and 4 days. And it happened in the Strait of Hormuz, just like today's incident happened in the Strait of Hormuz, 74. It's the number they love to pair with 33, like how USS Boxer's 33. Of course, Masonic 74. It's masonry that runs the show, does things by the same repetitive numbers again and again because it's a ritual, it's a language. We talked about how the name of the drone that was shot down on June 20th, RQ-4 Global Hawk 187, like how today's 18/7, the retaliation day. 187 and 88, just like summer solstice, just like Trump's 88. Drone and summer solstice also have a connection. So, surprise, surprise, more news by the numbers. Okay, you just got here the two drone attacks, 29 days apart. Drone 29. News by the numbers all day, every day. And prior to this drone attack, the other thing was Iran seizes foreign oil tanker with 12 crews, state media says, which means it's propaganda. And this was earlier today, July 18th, prior to the latest drone being shot down. And of course, that gives us deja vu of the recent Gulf of Oman oil tanker attacks. In case you missed my work on this, let's revisit because Donald Trump brought it up today. The first oil tanker attack blamed on Iran, which is no doubt propaganda, was May 12th. And the second incident was June 13th, which was 32 days later, or a span of 33 days. This incident happened in the Gulf of Oman, which sums to 47, number that's always hanging around the propaganda. Again, just like it is today, like how they emphasize destroyed. They got to sign out with their numbers. Their signature numbers. The date of the second attack, June 13, 2019, was a date with 58 numerology. Again, Freemasonry, Rosicrucian, Secret Society, they all sum to 58. Donald Trump, the winner of the 58th U.S. presidential election. See how Fox News goes with the headline, droned down. Drone down. I wonder how they came up with this, DD44, like military. But drone down in the most pure cipher, 58. Same cipher that all of this sums to 58 in. And that's not an accident. Again, Donald Trump, the winner of the 58th U.S. presidential election, announced he was running from the 58-story Trump Tower, hired the 58-year-old Steve Ray for Inauguration Day. Hillary put out the book called What Happened, about the rigged election. What happened equals 58. Her buddy Donald Trump beat her. Remember, they were best friends before the election. I don't know how anyone's fooled by the show, but they are, sadly. So anyway, the two incidents, a span of 33 days apart. Of course, this benefited the oil industry, which rose their, the cost of oil immediately and raked in even more profits. And the second attack was supposedly on a Japanese vessel. Why the leader of Iran was leading with the leader of Japan. I mean, why would Iran attack a Japanese ship while their leaders are having a meeting? Just a reminder that it's the New World Order, people. It's the New World Order. All these nations are in it together. Have been for some time. But here's the other thing that needs to be understood. The first attack was on May 12th. The first attack, supposedly by Iran on an oil vessel, was May 12th, the 132nd day of the year. Remember, United States of America equals 132. Don't forget, from the establishment of the Bavarian Illuminati to the naming of the United States of America was a span of 132 days. May 1st, 1776 to September 9th, 1776. That's why there's 132 rooms in the White House. And with regards to America, from May 12th to June 13th, if you don't count the span, it's 32 days later. America's 32, just like how America was established on a date with 32 numerology, 7/4/1776. Notice it was 4 weeks and 4 days, military. U.S., the military corporation. And again, these were perceived as acts of war. Iran 42, Japan 42, War 42, World War 42, Freemason. So all of this stuff is perfectly contrived by the numbers all day, every day. Couldn't be any more obvious, Watch how no one else in the truth community shares this information. Watch how they get caught up in the narratives. Watch how they speculate on a whole bunch of nonsense with zero evidence. Watch how all those channels get all the views. Now watch how those videos get shared and passed around. A whole bunch of garbage. Adding to the clutter, adding to the noise, adding to the nonsense. The truth community is more like the hack community. If you're not talking about this knowledge in 2019, you're irrelevant. And that's just a fact. Straight up irrelevant. Because there's nothing else going on that's even a fraction as important. That's how everything is contrived every single day. No exceptions. Zero arguments against it. And somehow, some way, people keep sleeping on this information. I just can't even explain it. Here, just for kicks, let's also talk about what happened on this day in 1984, 35 years ago. Who knows what happened in 1984? I'll just do this in real time. I have a blog post on it, but here, we'll just do it in real time. July 18th, 1984, San Ysidro Massacre at a McDonald's. You know this one? Mass shooting at a McDonald's on July 18th, 18/7, like 187, the homicide code. Know about this story? So, if you don't, in this same year, Ray Kroc died. I'll show you this. Ray Kroc is the guy who made McDonald's what it was. Ray Kroc died January 14th, 1984, right? Check this out. From January 14th, the day he died, to the date of the massacre, how many days do you think it was? How many days? If you guessed a span of 187 days, you are absolutely correct. So 187 days, the homicide code, You get a mass shooting at a McDonald's after the death of the founder, Ray Kroc. You ever seen that movie about him? If you haven't, you should check it out. It's about how a Catholic guy and a Jewish guy made McDonald's what it is, almost like the Supreme Court. But here's what else you need to know. We're going to type in San Ysidro and San Diego. They're right next to each other. San Ysidro is spelled like this. There's all sorts of pop-out numbers here. 119 and 56, like all seeing eye, but you see the 43? San Diego has that 43 in it as well. Killings 43. Masonics 43. Look at massacre. You see how massacre is 25? Massacre has 2 S's in it. Remember, if there's an S in a word in the reduction cipher for this cipher only, you can add +9 for each S. And that's because S is the 19th letter. It's the only letter that has to be reduced 2 times. 19 in numerology is 1 + 9 is 10. 1 + 0 is 1. So S can be 10 or 1. So if you make S 10, massacre becomes 43 instead of 25. And again, San Ysidro is 43. San Diego is 43. Killings 43. So, you know, the location was right. But very clearly, the ritual was all synced up with the death of Ray Kroc. And again, 187, the California homicide code. So anyway, and just in case you've never heard me talk about this before, McDonald's, you see the 158 here? Look at Burger King. Whoops, gotta spell it right. 158. Look at what Burger King, 58, 158, 59. Look at Freemasonry. 58, 158, 159. Overlap in 3 of the 4. B plus K is 2 plus 11, 13. M is the 13th letter. Another big Masonic number. Every alphabet that has an M in it throughout the world, it's the first letter in the word Masonic, no matter what the language is. M's the 13th letter in the English alphabet. But it's not hard to see who runs the show. And there's a certain truth channel who I respect most of their content, but they're routinely saying that it's not Masonry who's responsible for what's going on in the world. That person is dead wrong. They are completely wrong. And there are other secret societies that definitely have a hand in this, but Masonry is a huge, huge part of what is going on. And it couldn't be any more clear when you look at Washington, D.C., which of course also has a lot of Jesuit influence, which is another big part of it. But, you know, these numbers are all important to one certain group, and they are just on everything all throughout history, and that's the Masons. So we'll leave it there, Truth Seeker. Until next time.